This video is my 6th solo flight. I'm testing my crosswind landing skills in the crosswind component that is the highest for my personal minimums, 8 miles per hour from the side. We'll be taking off from runway 17 to the south with wind coming in from the angle of, or in direction of 260, which is exactly 90 degrees to the right hand side. Do a run up and take off. During the takeoff you'll see me move the stick to the right to put the aileron into the wind so that we don't lift the right wing up across. This is also the first video that I will do where I have the new aim sight installed. First time I've landed at York on runway 17. It'll be different with no reference of turn points in the pattern. Checking mags now. Carb. Pull it back to idle to see if it'll idle with the carb heat on, which would be the landing configuration. Going through the checklist before takeoff. Using a different instrument on this video, you'll notice the attitude indicator shows about 28 on a 3-point attitude, so watch it change as we change our pitch. We'll never really get as much nose up as our 3-point attitude is. We'll get nose down a little bit during descent. Notice I used the carb heat just before I entered the runway just to make sure it was working correctly, because we are operating below 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Nose down. Aileron's very sensitive here, so I had to put it right aileron and then take some of it out in order to take off. Take off really, really short. Now we're crabbed for the side component of the crosswind. Staying fairly decent down the center line of the runway. You'll notice that we're crabbed quite a bit to the right, however. Now we're seeing some turbulence where the plane's rocking and rolling. Seems like the wind is increasing as I clear this hill on the south side of the airport. We're at 1,000 feet above sea level, which is about 500 feet above the runway. Now we're 1,100 MSL at the turn. Still climbing. Best climb speed at about 70. Probably climb at a faster rate here, but I'm approaching my level off altitude. Probably should have cut power earlier, so I'm gaining speed too much. We'll bleed off the speed here on downwind. Look down to the right, that's a quarry, a real big hole in the ground. Flying right over the middle of it. slowing down now. Pulling the power back even further. Running about 1400 RPM. Pull first notch of flaps. Around 80 to 81 miles an hour. Pull the carb heat on. Make sure that when we're at low RPM we're not building carb ice. Still running at about 1700 RPM. The wind is keeping our altitude, keeping us from sinking descent, even with almost idle power, about 1,000, 1,100 RPM on the engine. So we're slowing down. We're about 50 now. Now we'll sink too fast. You'll see me add power here in a minute. Our descent rate. Turning final. Turned final way too early. Should have turned after I hit that red roof. Apparently the red roof barns or buildings are good markers for turns. Both ends of the runway here. I'm a little further out. I didn't need to go all the way out to East Berlin Road. I could have turned earlier on base. We're at full flaps now. That's why we can fly safely at about 45. I pull flaps on the base leg. We got a nice level, slow rated descent here, probably with some turbulence. We're bouncing in between, probably averaging about 6 to 7 feet per second drop. Something happens with the altitude indicator here at some point, but we're back to reading a correct number on the feet per second. 7 feet per second, more or less, about 500 feet per minute. We're going to clear the road with about 200 feet of altitude, maybe 250 feet. We don't want to land on this first section. We want to respect the displaced threshold, land on these numbers. So our aim point is a 1.7 right now. We're crabbed a little bit, fighting to stick with a lot of wind, a lot of turbulence. All right, now we're going to start to flare a little bit, straighten it out. Got a little hop, correct it with a little bit of throttle, bring it back to the center line. All right, stick back, flaps off, taxi back to the hangar. So essentially, a critique of this is that I didn't slow the descent rate enough, early enough. So I started slowing the descent rate a little late, and I was pulling back on the stick, straightening the plane out just as I touched the runway. So when that happened, since my tail was up in the air, the tail fell down, changed the angle of attack, and the plane gained about 2 feet of altitude, bounced or hopped. I added a little throttle to cushion the descent, held my stick in the same position, and came back and did another wheel landing correctly. And then pushed the stick forward, held it forward until the tail came down, and then I pulled the stick all the way back. So everything was fine, except that I was so busy dealing with the crosswind and the turbulence that I probably didn't pay as much attention to the round out and the attitude change that I needed to do, pitch change just before touchdown. So basically just do it a little bit earlier, maybe add a little bit more power in turbulence situations like that. All in all, not a bad landing, particularly for the first time after 2 weeks. We'll do better next time, but we're just getting used to the plane and the The biggest change that I see is that the ailerons are very, very effective on this plane. Very big, and I probably need to adjust to the fact that they are so sensitive that I don't need to over-control the plane by adding too much aileron and then having to correct it. So my aileron movements during crosswind landings will be smaller and more deliberate, then I won't have to change them so much. We'll do another fast taxi down the taxiway with a pretty good tailwind, just to let you know what it's like to taxi in a crosswind. You notice I'm not pulling the stick really far back. If I pulled it really far back, essentially that would make the tail feathers stick up in the air and could cause the wind to get underneath the tail and push it up, which I don't want to have happen, because then I would lose steering. So I'm keeping it more or less in a neutral position, fore and aft, and all the way to the left to keep the wing from pushing up on the left-hand side, which is now where the crosswind's coming from. You notice that the windsock didn't show a lot of crosswind there at that point in the runway, but when we get down to the hangar, you'll see that the windsock on top of the hangar at the FBO's office is almost straight out, which would mean that certainly somewhere between 8 and 10, gusting to maybe as much as 12 and 15. That's miles per hour. That's what practice is all about, is particularly when you're in unfamiliar surroundings, you just need to build confidence in your plane handling skills. I felt pretty good that I was able to recover from the hop and that my instinct was doing all the right things, other than my timing was a little bit off. There again, if you notice the windsock up on the top of the hangar there, you can see it's almost straight out, and it's kind of gusty. Those are difficult conditions for someone with as few landings as I have in this plane. Taxiing down to my hangar. And we'll run the engine a little bit. See if we can increase the oil temperature just a tad. Carb heat was good. Everything's functioning, so we didn't build any carb ice of any significance. Charging the battery once I'm over 1200 RPM, I'll be charging fully 20 amps. End of video.